Questions and answer to questions.
But, Mr. Speaker, I had indicated long ago on the mic, my mic has been on. That's why I'm catching his eye now. A mic has been on before the leader spoke.
Member from St. Catherine Southern, go ahead.
First, I want the removal of the member from Western Kingston. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the matter of the rulings of the Speaker in recent times have become very controversial. And it is unusual. It is unusual. The standing order in number 72, Privileges Committee of Parliament. The standing order allows for the rules that govern the operations, the privileges be settled.
Let me hear the point of order. Turn your mic on, please.
I think it's very inappropriate to be discussing a matter involving the Speaker in the absence of the Speaker. And furthermore, and furthermore, Mr. Speaker, to question the standing orders on which the Parliament is operating. Mr. Speaker, I believe that it is a point of order. It is a point of order.
Continue
and the members are using this for grandstanding. The grandstanding. And you should not allow it, Mr. Speaker. You should not. Not yet.
My mic was on. Okay.
Members, if you continue to have the crosstalk, then we will just continue with the business of the House. I gave you the floor and you started to make some comments, which is no way in with the standing order that you're raising on. Understand? Please. No, you don't have to respond to my comment. You stand on the ground to make a statement. Go ahead quickly with it. So, all right, so we can move on then because you weren't making a statement.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Member from St. Catherine Southern, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker. Hold on, Fitz. Hold on, Fitz. Mr. Speaker, Fitz. Hold on.
Member from St. Catherine, so sit.
Turn his mic on.
I will say this. When I asked a member to sit a while ago, I asked a member from St. Catherine Southern to sit because his mic from I was asking the member whose mic was on to sit so I could address you. But you continue to shout across the floor. I am saying to you, your mic was on, and before you could even start to make your presentation, you were cross talking with another member. You did. I am going to ask your member. I am going to ask you to sit now. I am going to ask you to sit. Member from St. Catherine Southwestern. I am ruling on this. I am asking the member from St. Catherine Southwestern. Your mic is lighted up and I'm going to turn it on now. You are the person who have the floor.
No, Mr. Speaker. No.
Hold on.
Mr. Speaker, my mic is
Mr.
on no and
Speaker.
I will speak.
Sit.
My mic is on no.
Member, the only reason you're behaving in that manner now, I simply gave you the floor. All you did was I'm giving the person next to speak, and he is going to speak. Member from St. Catherine South. Member from St. Catherine South. Oi, Mota.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, all I wish to say at the outset, one, rulings from the chair, from the Speaker's chair, have been most controversial in recent times. This Parliament have seen speakers from both sides. It has never happened before. We have never had these levels of controversies about the Speaker's ruling. They have been easily adhered to by either side. We have walked that road before. The Privileges Committee in the Parliament sets out a way to arrive at a consensus around how the House's business are conducted. It is not for the Speaker to unilaterally, arbitrarily set rules on the running of the House. And there's a reason for that, Mr. Speaker. The Parliament will change from time to time. And whichever side is in government is expected to abide by the commonly agreed rules. And it's for that reason why the rules in the House ought to be arrived at through consensus on both sides. Not by the opposition by itself, and neither by the government. It's a parliament of members. And all we're asking for, the rules that will obtain as it regards to questions or any other matters, private members' motion, how they are dealt with procedurally, they be settled there. The ruling of the Speaker as an umpire is to ensure that the decision of the moment when the House is in session is in keeping with those agreed provisions. Now, Mays, that is not a standing order, is recognized because it says both sides must agree. So even if the standing order is not explicit, on a particular point, there is nonetheless an agreed way in which those matters are dealt with. Mr. Speaker, I respectfully and humbly submit. If we continue with that convention, which has not been controversial before, we won't have much of the problems that we're having in the House. And for heaven's sake, we don't want posterity to judge the tenure of this House in a very unfavorable way. So I make a plea. Let us just revert to an orderly, balanced way of how the House business is conducted. I have, lastly, before I take my seat, I have in the past Parliament prepared questions, submitted them before time, and it's 1.5 months before they're able to end up reaching here. I've been on the receiving end myself, which has not been in keeping with the conventions of the Parliament. So I make my plea, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the House Leader make reference to ruling by the Speaker. You read section of the standing order. But may I draw the House's attention to the fact that the Speaker's ruling cannot be in conflict with the standing orders. And if such rulings are in conflict with the standing order supersedes any ruling from any Speaker.
What you saying, something?
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to add my concern to the conversation, because I don't know if I'm hearing something differently, but it's coming across from what I've heard, member said from St. Catherine South, as if the Speaker is on a frolic of her own, as if she's doing, no, let me finish, please. And that is not my experience, and that's not what I heard the House Leader read. The House Leader read the ruling of the Speaker, which from listening to it, the Speaker's ruling was consistent with the standing order. So member from St. Catherine South, if you're asking the Speaker to be consistent with the standing order, then the ruling of the Speaker is proper. Her action in relation to questions be posed or tabled is in line, is consistent. To ask her not, the Speaker, not to do that would be asking her to be inconsistent with the standing order. So I just want to make the point very clearly, Mr. Speaker. Let us not paint the picture that the Speaker is operating in a manner that's not consistent with the standing order, because that's not true. That's not true. The Speaker, the ruling is very clear. It is consistent with the standing order.
So, Mr. Speaker, I think the member from Clarendon Central was on point in relation to his framing of it. And also the member from St. Catherine Southwestern, that whatever the Speaker rules has to be in accordance with the standing order. There has been no controversial ruling by the Speaker. And it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that it is framed like that. There may be rulings that people don't agree with. That is that doesn't rise to controversy, right? No. On this matter, the member from St. Catherine South is correct. You only go to Mays for interpretation if the provision is not clear. There is no lack of clarity in relation to these provisions. The challenge is that they have not been adhered to over the years. This speaker is saying we are adhering to the standing order, and that will benefit every member of the House. As the member from Manchester Southern tabled these questions, would have been answered in the time were it not for I couldn't be here that day, and he got it the next time at bat. The member from St. Catherine Southwestern has moved his private member's motion. They have been debated in keeping with the standing order. The member from St. Catherine Southwestern, you don't have to get up. I'm talking now. I'm talking now. Don't tell me about that. I'm talking now. What I'm saying, we are adhering to the standing orders. Thank you.
Motion that may be made at the commencement of the public business requiring notice. Motion relating to the sitting of the House. Motion for leave to introduce bills. Presentation of bills without leave of the House first obtained.
Mr. Speaker, I now move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take the first reading of a bill shortly entitled the Registration and Shared Community Act 2026.
Members, the question is that the standing order be suspended to allow the minister to take the first reading of the bill. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
Thank you very much.